Picture this. The year is 597 to BCE, and the Jewish people are facing exile from their homeland of Israel. The Babylonian forces under the rule of Nebuchadnezzar II have invaded Judah and now demand the displacement of its people. The Jewish community, torn from their homes, are led away to the foreign lands of Babylon, marking the beginning of what we know today as the Babylonian Captivity. The Babylonian Captivity, a significant period in Jewish history, extended from 597 BCE to 538 BCE, a span of nearly 6 decades. During this time, the Jewish people lived in exile away from their ancestral lands. This event was not just a geographical displacement, but a spiritual trial, as the Jewish people struggled to maintain their faith and identity in a foreign land. The echoes of this captivity resonate strongly in the religious texts of Judaism and Christianity. The Torah and the Christian Bible recount tales of anguish, resilience, and faith, painting vivid pictures of a people holding on to their beliefs despite their circumstances. In 538 BCE, the tides turned for the Jewish people. Cyrus the Great, the Persian leader, ascended to power. He was known for his tolerance towards the religions and cultures of the lands he conquered. In a move that deviated from the norm of the time, Cyrus allowed the Jewish people to return to their homeland, bringing an end to the Babylonian captivity. The Jewish return to Israel marked a significant moment in history. It was a time of rebuilding, not just of their cities and temples, but of their faith and community. This event is commemorated in the Jewish festival of Purim, a testament to their survival and resilience. This historical event, etched deeply in religious texts like the Torah and the Christian Bible, would later serve as a metaphor for a different kind of captivity in the Church. Fast forward to the 1300s, the Pope's influence extends beyond religion and into the realm of politics. We see the Pope's power growing, not just as a spiritual leader, but as a formidable political force. As the Pope's influence expands, it inevitably leads to conflicts with European leaders who are vying for their own authority in religious matters. Enter Pope Boniface VIII, who ascends to the papacy in 1294. Boniface VIII's tenure is marked not only by religious leadership, but also by political meddling, particularly in France. He boldly excommunicates the King of France in 1303, a move that stirs the pot, bringing the simmering tension between the Church and the state to a boil. The excommunication of a king by a pope is a seismic event. It's a clear sign of the Pope's growing political ambitions and a testament to the power the papacy wields. However, it's also a decision that proves to be controversial, not just for the king, but for the papacy itself. Pope Benedict II, Boniface VIII's successor, finds himself in the unenviable position of having to clean up the aftermath. Recognizing the potential for long-term damage, Benedict XI takes steps to mend relations. He removes the excommunication imposed on the French king, a move seen by many as an attempt to restore balance and stability. But the damage has been done. The papacy has shown its hand, revealing its political ambitions and willingness to assert its authority over kings. This flexing of papal muscles doesn't go unnoticed. It sets the stage for a shift in the papacy that would forever change the landscape of the Catholic Church. This political entanglement set the stage for a shift in the papacy that would forever change the landscape of the Catholic Church. In 1305, a new pope, Clement V, ascended to the papal throne and made a decision that would resonate through history. Clement V, a Frenchman, brought a significant change to the papacy. He decided to relocate the seat of the papacy from Rome to Avignon, a city in his native France. This move was unprecedented and would have far-reaching consequences. The papacy, the central authority of the Catholic Church, had always been in Rome, the heart of the Christian world. Now it was moving to France, under the influence of a French pope. Clement V didn't stop at just moving the papacy. He also appointed 9 French cardinals, significantly shifting the balance of power within the Church. This was a clear move to strengthen the French influence within the Church and ensure that future popes would also be French. The Pope's court, traditionally an international institution, was now heavily French-influenced and based in France. This period of the papacy's history, from 1305 to 1378, is often referred to as the Babylonian Captivity of the Church. The name draws a parallel with the original Babylonian Captivity, where the Jewish people were exiled from Israel and held captive in Babylon. Just as the Jewish people were forcibly moved from their homeland, the papacy was now removed from its traditional home in Rome and relocated to Avignon. The Babylonian captivity of the Church was a significant turning point in the history of the Catholic Church. It marked a shift in the Church's power dynamics and signaled the growing influence of secular authorities on Church matters. The papacy, once a unifying force for Christians worldwide, was now seen as a political tool used by powerful states to further their own interests. The Pope's court was now in France, far from Rome. The Babylonian captivity of the Church had begun. The Babylonian captivity of the Church, a period of 73 years, had profound implications for the Catholic Church and beyond. This period saw the papacy, once the spiritual hub of Christendom, relocated from Rome to Avignon, France. This shift, driven by Pope Clement V, dramatically altered the power dynamics within the Church and left a lasting impact on the wider European political scene. The major shift in power dynamics within the Church was perhaps the most immediate consequence of this period. The relocation of the papacy to Avignon brought the French king into close proximity with the Pope, giving the French monarchy an unprecedented influence over the Church's affairs. The Pope, who had traditionally been regarded as the spiritual leader of all Christians, was now seen as a puppet of the French king, a perception that would linger long after the end of the Babylonian captivity of the Church. This shift in power dynamics also impacted the wider European political landscape. The Pope had traditionally been a neutral figure in European politics, using his spiritual authority to mediate disputes between kingdoms. But the Babylonian captivity of the Church changed this. The Pope was now seen as a political actor, aligning himself with the French king and using his papal authority to further French interests. This not only damaged the Pope's reputation as a neutral arbiter, but also strained relations between the papacy and the other European kingdoms. The Babylonian captivity of the Church also had a profound impact on the Church's relationship with its followers. The Pope's departure from Rome, the spiritual home of the Church, caused a great deal of confusion and disillusionment among the faithful. This, coupled with the perception that the Pope was now a political pawn of the French king, led to a loss of faith in the papacy and a rise in anti-papal sentiment. The Babylonian captivity of the Church, a time of exile for the papacy, remains a significant chapter in the annals of religious history. Its echoes felt even today. This period of captivity, while fraught with challenges, taught the Church valuable lessons about the dangers of political entanglement and the importance of maintaining spiritual authority. From 597 BCE to 538 BCE to the 1300s in Avignon, France, the term Babylonian captivity has held a powerful place in history. Initially, this term referred to the exile of the Jewish people in Babylon, a period marked by struggle and resilience. Centuries later, it was co-opted to describe a significant shift in papal authority. Pope Clement V's decision to flee to Avignon, France in the early 1300s triggered what we now refer to as the Babylonian captivity of the Church. This move, prompted by political tensions, led to a period of almost 75 years during which the papacy was under the influence of French kings. The impact of this captivity was profound, reshaping the Catholic Church and influencing European politics. History, they say, has a way of repeating itself. The Babylonian captivity of the Church is a stark reminder of how power can shift and how those shifts can reverberate through the ages.